Welcome to No Strings Attached Street Ministry. It's December the 27th, and just wanted to wish you all a Happy New Year. Hope things change. The last few days of the year, I do a lot of self-reflection upon myself, try to get an idea of what I've done over the last year, where I'm heading. I'm sure a lot of people do. Look at things that you need to change in your lives. What needs to change, what doesn't need to change, what you need to improve on, your relationships, all this stuff. But I'm the kind of guy that really, I'm sort of a thinker. You can think. I beat myself up a whole lot more than anybody else in this world could ever beat me up. But I've always been that way. But I'm also a very compassionate person. I've always had that passion in my heart for other people. Let me sort of give you an idea of what this ministry does and why. See, I used to sing professionally gospel music when I was a young man, actually. Young boy. I started when I was 9 years old and watched my father get saved, and grew up in a musically talented family. I was soared in the band and the chorus in school. The teacher was trying to groom me and prep me to become a country star. That's probably what my destiny was in life. But as a young man, as I was growing up, I just sort of, you let the bells and whistles sort of just take you in a different direction, But it was all about the money, because at 17 I was offered a job working as a millwright in the Carpenters Union. And I was working all graveyard shifts, holidays, weekends, which was double and triple pay. I was at full scale. I was a full journeyman. Within 6 months, I went and took the test and became a full journeyman. So I was making top pay as a millwright mechanic, working on power plant teardowns, pretty much all over the country. And ever since then, the Lord has blessed what I can do. I don't think there's a trade out there that wouldn't consider myself to be a professional in. I hold many state licenses. There's lots of things that I do. Electrical, plumbing, you name it, construction. Anything in the construction industry at all. I do every single bit of it. Refrigeration, mechanical. So there's a lot of things. My knowledge is very vast in a lot of different areas. So I have a lot to offer others, and my goal and what I've always done in my life was to take someone that was interested and do everything I could to help them better themselves. Well, that's sort of how I am in my spiritual world as well. See, I sort of left the Lord. I wasn't a bad guy, but I sure didn't have my eyes focused on God at all in any way, and it just wasn't there. So I left the Lord, and I just sort of faded away, and I got saved in 2003, November the 21st, I believe it was. November 21st, 2003. Right after I got saved, I really got beat up. The devil just come in and just kicked me right in the teeth one week, and it was like 2 weeks into my newfound salvation. And I changed that day. In so many ways. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, I get kicked in the teeth, and I saw the old me appear, and that actually hurt me. That made me upset. And when that happened, I cried out to the Lord, and I was so angry with God. because I just felt that it wasn't real, you know. And I begged God to prove Himself to me, to show me that He's really real. Give me something that I can put my teeth into, where I know I will never fade away again. I've seen so many Christians out in the world, though, you know, they get saved and they don't change. Nothing about them changes. And I always question myself, did they even get it or what, you know? But anyway, I mean, it's, you know, I was looking at my own self-reflection. I didn't want to end up just another statistic. And you see the way the world is these days. I mean, nobody believes in anything these days except their self. And then they don't even believe in that. But, no, it's a very painful process. But, and my goal was that I really wanted to make a difference. That's my spirit. That's who I am. That's what I do. You know, I just want to make an impact. I wanted to, you know, I even on my, after I got saved, I prayed one more time at the altar, and I asked God to use me, to allow me to offer what I just received to just one person. Just allow me to be able to extend my hand out and help one other person that's in the mud like I have been. You know, that they would come and they would allow me to pick them up and help them, truly help them through their struggles until they, you know, until they finally get it. It probably don't make sense to you all, but that's just how I felt. But I went on and make sure my camera's not falling. But I went on and prayed that prayer. And then, like 2 days later, besides him convincing me thoroughly, he wrote to me in the sky. I wrote, "Turn to Jesus in the sky," that day that I was really nasty to this guy. And he convicted me to make that testimony, and I think I have that on my other channel. That whole testimony is like 2 hours long, but I think it is on there. But he made me go and find this man and embarrass myself and apologize and go right into a bar to do that. And I couldn't be released until I did that. And I went on and did that, and I guess just out of servanthood, you know, obedience. I mean, he did great things with me and through my life already. I started having these dreams. And you got to realize, in 2000, I was in a really bad accident where I rode a bobcat down a mountain and really hurt myself pretty bad. And I wasn't able to. I mean, the doctor said that I'd most likely be in a wheelchair the rest of my life. I mean, I was really bad off. Everyone gave up on me. It was a workman comp case. I was sort of left in between everything. I had to resign from my position at my job that I was making over $200,000 a year at. They forced me to resign. It was just, and then they abandoned me. They give me 2 weeks of workman comp pay, and after they found out what the MRI said, they said, screw this, and they abandoned me, literally abandoned me, and let me starve to death for almost 3 years. And I mean, I had good savings. I really did. I had a very good savings account. I mean, I was a professional business owner that I've been self-employed pretty much my whole life. This is after I retired from that. You know, God had to tear me down to put my face in the dirt so I would actually look up and see Him. So all the loss and the failure of the stuff and the position and the prestige that I had in my life, it was worth it to find God. I would sacrifice today. That's why I'm sort of a minimalist today. I everything that I make, I give back to God. It's okay. I don't need it. He takes 100% care of me every day of my life. And he has, and I've been through a lot. I mean, even right down to the van itself was given to me through this ministry. God provides, and he always does. He's proven that daily to me. He sent me angels to help take care of me and to support me and to be my encourager. Because when you walk the kind of walk that I walk, and you do the kind of things that I do, well, let me get back to where the story was. I'm trying to bring you up in details of how it actually took place and why I do what I do. But anyway, I started having dreams and knowing that I was going to be really bad off the rest of my life. And I asked God, I said, Lord, I don't want to be in a wheelchair. I'll kill I can't survive that way. That's not who I am. I'm a people person. And if I'm bound to a wheelchair, or bound to a home, or in a nursing home, or something like that, I would literally wither away and die. Because my spirit could not handle that. So he healed me. Yeah, I deal with pain every day. More pain than most people probably could. I'd say most people would deal with the pain that I live in every day. Would literally have to be in ICU to be able to deal with it. I'm on morphine. I know because I was. But he taught me through meditation and my prayer. I could go into my prayer every morning when I wake up. And I go to each individual spot in my body. And I pray that pain away. So I became almost like a prayer warrior. This is why prayer, and I've seen these prayers answered daily, every single day. And anytime I would pray for somebody else, their prayers were answered. I mean, it was pretty weird. It was actually very impressive. But that's what, and I knew that I had that gift of some reason. And that gift itself was how I could help others. I could teach them to do that. I could teach them to pray. I can teach them and prove to them that prayer does get answered. And that was my mission. So God started showing me these dreams that I had. And I had 5 dreams that I would have over and over and over and over and over. And I mean, these are dreams that I actually knew in detail. But the very first time that I dreamed that of what God had planned for me in my life and in my heart. And I tell you what, it sucked. I don't think I've ever cried so hard in my entire life. After I dreamed, I woke up weeping, literally weeping after this dream. And I've had this dream probably 50 times. And every time I know of this dream or have this dream, I still end up weeping. I mean, literally weeping harder than I've ever cried in my entire life. Because I saw what he wanted me to do. He wanted me to be a sacrifice. And he wanted other people to see my struggles in this world. He had to, because he was the only one that could break my pride. And other people knew me because of my pride and my success in life. So I had to be a failure in their eyes. And I had to be committed to him in their eyes. And that was their way of, in their judgment. Because I had to be pure. They could not judge me in any way. So by doing this, I saw what people would be like and how they would. I have also a gift of discernment. In other words, I usually can tell. I get downloaded. I call it a download. I meet someone and instantly their life is like downloaded into me. And I know the right questions to ask. I know the right way to ask it. I know how to pull and suck the evil right out of them. But you got to understand, I have a success at doing this because with my band ministry and on the road, they don't know me. And they know they'll never see me again. So that gives me an advantage. It allows me to work deeply within inside them to be able to truly surrender the demon that's got them, has got them holding. And I'm able to pull that away and actually help them and break them through that. And most of the time I have a good success because I'm able to finally see them at their worst of their pits and then be able to reach down and say, that's all right, brother or sister, I've got you. You know, come with me. I can help you. I've been there. I've done that. I've walked through your paths. I mean, there's not a sin out there from the time I ran away from God to the time I found God. Honestly, there's not a sin out there or a struggle out there that I haven't conquered, that I haven't done, been through, conquered. I don't care what you think your sin is. I know for a fact I have done it and been there. I know your walk. And that's, I think, is why I'm so valuable. And I always wondered why I had to live that kind of life. But you know what? Over the few months of starting this, I realized that actually God was with me all the time. He knew I had to walk through those evil times. And He was right there beside me all the time, holding my hand quietly, protecting me and not allowing it to get nasty or me to be destroyed. He protected me through all this. And my eyes wasn't even fixed on Him. But then He called me. He called me back. He had to destroy me to get my attention, which in a way I actually thank God He did, because I would rather God get anything away. If I don't care what it was, I would give it away instead of losing my salvation again. And I've had lots of money and lots of things, you name it, I had all the toys. My goal in life and my motto in life was the boy with the most toys at the end wins. And trust me, that meant women and everything. I don't care what it was. I had anything and everything you could imagine. But I had to have it all go away. So you'd be surprised at all the things that, these people go through in their lives, and they're all crumbled, and most of them are crumbled by, and I also was molested as a young boy. I didn't even realize that until I was almost 42 years old. I don't even remember that. I do now. My mother and father hid it from me. I mean, I was never talked about. I never felt the repercussions of that. But something inside of me, I guess, knew that. But I actually discovered that through a dream as well until I confirmed it. And then found out that my sister was, and I even said, well, what happened between me and my sister? And anyway, it was an older guy from next door that took advantage of us. And that's how I knew that it was real, and that's why, it works. But I had to experience all this stuff to be able to be who I am today. I don't know why, but my ministry deals with a lot of young girls. I have literally helped and rescued and protected probably at least 3 dozen young girls from really, really bad predators. And I always, when I said, Lord, why me? Why me? Why can't a woman do that, Because I'm a father figure, and I took pride in raising my babies, both because I couldn't work, so I had to raise my kids. And my wife was a good wife, and she had to work, and, well, I think God just sort of made me the house mom, if that makes any sense. But I gave good compassion in raising my children, and good values, and I think He was proud of that. I think He wanted me to. I brought him up in church, and I taught him the right things, the right ways. And most of these kids were kids that was friends with my kids. So Of course I'm going to rescue them. But anyway, then I got called on these other 5 dreams that took me out on the road to do this as a ministry. And so I started out on the ministry thing. And sure enough, I mean, I'd pull up. So, I'd find a guy or someone standing around, or, they would be into drugs. Well, I've been there, done that too. They would be into, in prostitution. I've been there, done that. They've, been strip dancers. I've been there and done that. I've seen it. I've dealt with it. I know them. You name it, all the bad evil. I've sold it into gambling, into drugs, alcohol, smoking, you name it. I've done anything and everything you could possibly think of doing. I've done it. So I'm first-hand at knowing that you can be forgiven and be saved through all this. So I'm able to reach out into them and really do some good work with them and help them along the way. But also the biggest thing is I also preach and teach. I don't preach, but I do to certain people. This is why I'm considered a prophet. I don't know what to call me. I'm not calling me anything. Yes, I'm ordained, and yes, I do have all this stuff, but that's what God made me have to quiet the noise from the church, the religion, the people that want to fight me with the Bible. I know the Bible. I've read the Bible over 100 times, have you? So I know it well. But I don't preach from the Bible. I preach from my experiences, and I use the Bible to back up my motives and back up why I do what I do and how I can help them. I teach them biblically how it's supposed to work. My opinion truly about the Bible is a personal instructions for me. It's supposed to be used internally from me, for me, and I'm the only one that can tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? And the Word of God, that's how it's supposed to work. I'm not supposed to take that word and go, aha! Or aha! See, you're wrong. No, that's not what I do. The Bible is to make me go, aha! Oh, man, aha. And that's how I look at that. Every man, I don't care who you are or how sainted you are, you sin every single day. I guarantee this. I know it for a fact, and you will never convince me you don't. And the very minute that you would utter the words that you are holy and you do not sin, guess what? You've just made the biggest sin. That's a lie. So take it as it is. Truth is truth. I know sometimes truth hurts, but that's just what it is. But anyway, I'm able to work with these people. I was always fighting against the tithing and things, and you know how Christians are in a church, and they're all stingy with their money, and they're like, that ain't gonna happen with me. Nope, I ain't giving that. No false preacher or anything like that. I agree. I get it. I understand it. I've been there, done that, right along with you. The reason that I invite people to help me is because I want them to be able to receive the blessings that I do from my giving. I pay my tithes of 10% to the church. I've got 4 churches actually that I help out. And I pay over 80% of my income is to this ministry. So that leaves me with 10% to live off of and to do what I need to do. 10%. Oh, and plus pay taxes off that. I have to absorb and pay all the taxes as well. So, yeah. So you can see how much that really leaves me. Not very much. But anyway, I live day by day. Honestly, I do. I mean, so, but that's the reason I say that to you is I want you to realize that's just how much goes into this ministry and why I do what I do. Is because I want other people to receive those blessings along. I've got 6 angels, 2 of them online, and I won't mention you, but one's from Australia and one's from Colorado, I believe. But they know who they are very well, and I want to tell them personally, I love you. You don't have no meaning. It's not what you've given me, which was quite a sum, but it's not what you've given me that makes a difference. It's that I have someone, even in my darkest hours, reaches out, tells me they love me, holds me, supports me, trusts me, believes in me, and does anything and everything they can to make sure I'm okay. Both of them has told me if at any time I ever get in a bind and I ever need them help, call them, let them know, and it's on the way. Guys, you don't know how much that means to me, because that helps me in my faith. Faith is something that I live every day. I go out with nothing. Literally, I have spent every dollar I have. Every day I have spent it. So when I go out in the world, God has to provide. He has to take care of me. He has to send an angel to fill my tank up. He has to fill someone to come by and feed me once in a while, because he knows good well I won't eat if I'm on the road. I'm focused, mission focused, and that's what I'm going to. Lord, take me where you need me to go. Come on, let's go. And I work 20, 22, 23 hours a day at it. I mean, I go out for usually 2-3 weeks at a time. And literally when I come home, I'm totally exhausted. I set my van up to be like a little RV thing, you know. I sleep in it and everything, and I'm a penny pincher. What can I say? I can stretch a penny man till it cries in 10 different ways. So yeah, it just shows you, what I do and how I do it. I mean, you'd be surprised how much you can actually do with very little. Just determination gets you a long ways in this world. But also I teach others. Now with the van community, that's what I sort of try to go towards now, is the people in the vans. Because I see the need, I see the hurt, I see the loss and despair that the young kids, the young generations are going through. They're like, we can't work, even 2 of us working 20 hours a day at a job 7 days a week. We can't even make the mortgage payment, let alone, food and a car and something to drive. And we have to have 4 or 5 of our buddies to all cram into a 1-bedroom apartment to be able to afford it. I get it. I know it. I see it. I struggle with that every day, watching my own kids do that. And they're both highly educated, so it really is tough for them, to survive. And I get that as a problem in the world today. We have totally abandoned and literally destroyed our younger generations. We've focused them to get them out of our hair, because we were all about me, and stuff. And whenever a child would come into our room, we would push them away and say, here's a Xbox, go play. Get out of my face. Or you go to dinner and stuff, and everyone's on their phone. Everyone at the table is on their phone. And they don't even talk, except to order. They're on their phone, they're eating while they're on their phone, and they're eating their dessert while they're phone, and Dad stands up, so let's go. And they all get up, looking at the phone and walking into the car. This is what's destroyed every relationship in this world. You think you got a great relationship? If you and your wife is tied to the cell phones, you're on a fast track to destroy it. I'll guarantee that. One day you're going to wake up as an old lonely woman or an old lonely man, and you're going to realize that you've played your games on your computer and your phone so much to where you don't even know who your husband is anymore. It's just the way life goes, and that's the demon that has attacked us. That's a demon that has attacked into our generations. We're 2nd generations now, 2 generations down going into this stuff. This stuff hit the market back when I was in the 70s, the 80s. is when all the computers took off. Guys, pay attention. Put your phone down. I know it's valuable. It really is. But put your phones down and pay attention to your family. Love who's around you, instead of loving some fake on the other end of a message. You know, I mean, come on. I get bombarded. I accept anybody and everybody that wants to follow me on Facebook, and believe me, you'd be surprised at the crap that I have to deal with of people hitting on me. I mean, come watch my videos, sex play, and it's sickening, the stuff that actually comes across to you. Your mind, your body is bombarded with this nastiness its entire life, and believe me, it even wears on me. So I know it can wear on you guys. I'm diligent. I'm paying attention. I am aware of the attack. That's why someone that's innocent, that's not aware of this attack, is easily vulnerable. Because believe me, it's almost broke me as well. But I understand the troubles out there. This is why I'm on the road. And my ministry is not just for one community. My ministry is out for the entire world. There's times when I stop my truck and there's 40, 50 people comes up and writes their prayers on my van. And out of those, I might stand there for an hour, 2 hours, even 5 hours, talking to each one of them. We'll have a big powwow right in the middle of a Walmart parking lot or a Home Depot. I mean, or at a Friendly's or something, wherever. At McDonald's one night, we sat there from 2 o'clock in the morning till almost daybreak. And there was 20 of us sitting around, and we was getting into some really deep stuff. So, I mean, but the thing is I've learned and I've taught them that friendship is everything. That I told them that I'd always be there for them. If they ever needed me, they could call me. Everyone has my phone number. Everyone. But getting into this bad dream that I had, I also knew what was going to happen. Out of the people that I've met, I know that 90% of them will never see me or talk to me ever again. No matter how much 7% of my friends will become very dear friends that I'll spend months and months or even years helping and trying to guide them and mold them and do anything I could for them. I'll give them cars. I'll pay their mortgages for them. I'll do anything I can to do to help them out of their struggles. And I know good and well, after I do this, I know from my dreams that they're going to instantly hate me. They're going to treat me. They're going to love me like they love Jesus. And they're going to persecute me and put me on a cross and nail me to it and stab me in the side when they do it. It happens every time that I do it. And all I've done is give out of love and compassion to others. You don't have no clue. I'm human. I have feelings. And you don't have no clue what that feels like to have someone that you would consider one of your best friends pick up a knife and stab you until you bleed. For no reason, just for being nice to them. Go figure. But they've allowed the devil to wrap some little stupid little thing around their head that made them, oh, well, I didn't like how you put on your shoes yesterday. You did that wrong. Well, I'm going to hold you to the fire for that, and I'm going to hate you for that. And, they're always going to come up with something so stupid. Or you made a comment on Facebook or one thing, and it was a personal attack. I said, I don't attack anybody. I say a lot of things on Facebook. But I honestly don't say, so you got to realize my mind is processing all the people that I deal with and what I see as waves. I call them waves. And when I start seeing the drug epidemics and things like this, and I start seeing why these people are doing this, and these are the things that I talk about. And I see this as that. And, I said, if you're going to be my friend, trust me, you will hate me. I guarantee you, even my angels, I'm sure at times, and in their own prayer, they've had to pray to come back because they know good and well. that they've been enticed in something or some way that I've spoke that made them angry at me or hate me. I don't care who you are. You're going to do it. I know it for a fact. But you know what? I love you anyway. I do. Because God tells me I'm here to also be the example of the church. And a lot of churches has literally spent years and years and years preaching the gospel but doing it wrong, teaching these people wrongly. So they're the ones that's really responsible for a lot of this misunderstanding about the Bible, is because they've twisted it around so bad to where it's messed up even their own, their own ideology, you could say, or doctrine. Guys, I'm only one guy, and I know I'll probably die a lonely old man. But that's okay. I know God loves me. I know where I'm going. That's not the reason that I go. I mean, I have Christians that I tell every day, say, well, come and take me, Lord, take me, kill me, bring me home, I'm ready to go, and they're 21 years old. Really? Why do you want to die? Don't you think God's got something for you? What do you mean? You're 80 years old. So what? Really? What makes you want to think God just wants you to wither up and die and not do anything else? If you're still breathing, He's still calling you. Trust me, I know that for a fact. If you're breathing and you see the daisies on this side of the earth, the beauty of the daisies and not the roots, if you see the daisies, He's got something for you to do today. Get off your butt and go do it. Make a difference in the world every single day. Because we're here for the reason to fight. And if you're going to sit around and let yourself just mold into a couch somewhere or mold onto a church bench, then you ain't worth your weight in gold. And guess what? Heaven is lined with gold. So if you don't have any gold on your weight, guess what? You ain't going in. You're going to be going back to the other place to be refined a little bit more. Trust me. That's just the way it is. But anyway, quit our judgments, guys. We all judge. I don't care who you are. We're supposed to judge each other, especially our Christian brothers and sisters. God came to save the world. He is not here to condemn the world, but He came to save it. That's what I'm saying. He is here to save the world. Our position is not to judge the world, but it doesn't say not judge the world. It doesn't. That's what it says, to not judge the world. But when you're a Christian, you're now a brother and sister. We are to judge each other. We are to hold each other accountable. We are to teach and love. Teach and love. Remember, that's what it's all about. We're supposed to hold each other. How many times have you seen a Christian get saved? And instantly, everyone in the church, oh, he's saved. Instantly, they think you're supposed to be a Bible scholar. In a week. They're still the same old sinful, nasty-minded, pervert man or woman that walked into those doors a week ago. That's going to be a lot of milk, you could say, they got to eat and chew on before you can start beating them over the head with the Bible. Get what I'm saying? So remember, each one of us is in a different walk. So what, Mary Jane over here, Joe over here, isn't doing it exactly like you know, and you've already walked through that path of your life. But that's why you walked that path already, because you're supposed to be there helping them get through that path. See what I'm saying? Use your experiences in life to reach the younger ones and the ones, and it doesn't mean that they only have to be 12 and 14. If it's 80 years old and he's a brand new Christian, he's still a younger one to you. So grab him and say, that's not really how we do it there, brother. We need to work a little bit on your attitude or whatever, But honestly, Stop being this Christian that when you walk in the door, you think you're holy because you know 580 people in your church. And when you walk in the door, you spend an hour in that church saying, hello, how are you? Welcome to Sunday school. Glad to see you today. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later possibly, and walk away. Literally 5 minutes of your life is all you spend with someone, and you call them your brothers and sisters, and you call them your best friends, and you call them everything, and you've spent 5 minutes every single week for a year. How much is that? That's 500 minutes. That's not even a day, is it? It's like knowing someone for a whole day and actually talking to them. I spend hours with a stranger. You see what I'm saying? If you're going to call someone your brother and sister, speak with them, talk with them, socialize with them, get to know who they are, love them, know their faults, help them through their faults, teach them that you have faults as well, and that we're all not faulty, but we're all loved, and God's helping us to the other side. And we're supposed to walk hand in hand to that other side. Everybody out here, I don't care who you are, you're pathetically sick. Hate to say that. How many hours, or let's just say, get this right, how many seconds a day do you actually pick up your Bible and read it? How many seconds in a day do you go out of your way to call somebody, even just a simple phone call, that you know someone's struggling, and call them and say, hey Janet, I know you're having a hard day, but guess what? I love you. I've been praying for you. I'm still with you. Is there anything I can do for you today? Anything at all. And be willing to stick up to what you said. If she says something, yeah, you can. It would be nice to see you, just have someone chat for 5 minutes. Why don't you go by and get me a sub at Subway and go by and have lunch with me? If your schedule permits, go for it. Because that's God-driven friendship right there. When God moves you to that right there, it opens a door for you. And trust me, there is no wrong that can ever destroy you for that. The devil hasn't got a hold on you, baby. No way. He just doesn't. So, like I said, people, they're so, and when it comes to money, oh my God. I've never seen someone cry so much for over $1. But yet then they'll go out to the bar, and they'll go out with their Christian buddies, and they'll sit there at the bar, and they'll have 3, 4, 5 drinks at $10 a drink. Oh, we're selling a birthday today. Or, this is our anniversary today. Do you go to church? Do you go to the bar every week to drink like that? No. Then why are you doing it when you celebrate? I don't get it. Or, you'll see a group of people that's playing in the band together. They all go out to the bar after they get done practicing on Thursday night, and they get totally plastered and spend hundreds of dollars on food and drinks and everything else. I know, because I did it myself. So I know that it's true. But you see what I'm saying? But we cry to help a ministry out, or we cry to give tithe. And we can go out and spend $100 on crap. But yet, our tithe is only $120 a week. We don't have the tithe money because we thrown it away. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that it's wrong or right. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, God's tithe, if you're still in the Old Testament and you want to believe in tithe, that's fine. I'm okay with that as well, because it's still a law. We're not bound by the law, but we are meant to uphold the law. It's, God came to fulfill those laws. But He gave us 2 commandments, and He added to our commandments to do. A lot of people don't understand this. We're still supposed to obey them. That's what makes us who we are. That's what makes us stand out differently than the crowd, is to be that way. But we don't have to do all the sacrifices and things, all the different laws that's out there nowadays. We're free of all that. Same as tithing, we're free of that. We don't have to tithe, but the churches need that tithe. They call it tithe, but it's not really meant to be called a tithe. It's supposed to be called a gift. And when God says, and Jesus says, when you're going to give gifts, give good gifts. Make commitments. Make a commitment to that church body that you stand behind. Make a commitment to the ministry that you follow. Make a commitment to the ones that you actually see doing the work for you. Some people can't get out and do what I do. I get that. I understand that. So help me do what I have to do, and I'll work for you. But you're just as important, because you're allowing me and giving me those gifts to be able to go out and do for all of us, to do it. You're working as a team member. That's what it's all about. Even if it didn't have God in it at all, it's a charity. It's just like Salvation Army or Red Cross, and how much good do they do? Well, when a disaster hits, they go in there and they set up a tent, and they do whatever they can to help rebuild those people's lives. Mentally, emotionally, financially. That's exactly what I do. But I do it in the name of Christ. That's it. That's it. I go into a disaster. I find the ones that are disastered, that's made a total disaster in their life, and that's what I do. But now at charity, if you look at the statistics and you look at the figures of all the CEOs and everything else, you'll see that less than 1% of what they get in donations, which is billions, actually goes to actually helping the cause that they've wanted to cause. I'm saying that my salary is $1 a year. That's what I pull from this ministry, is $1 a year to make it a ministry. And I personally pour in an average of anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 a year into this ministry. On my own. Every single penny or dollar that's ever been donated to me, God has had a purpose for it the minute it hit my bank account. You see? So this is what I do and how I do it and why I do it. I'm out here, and one day you may possibly be the recipient of that. Because you never know, God will probably bring me in your path one day. I've met quite a few YouTube people that became one of those paths. And actually, what did I do right through Christmas time? One of my little YouTube girls that I met last year sent me a message, and I always send it to her to try to lift her spirits up. I always talk to her and chat with her and try to bring her day up a lot, every day. But that's what I do. But I reach out to over 200 people like that every day, every morning, you know. And I try to put a smile on their face, and that's just what I do. Besides what I'm actually doing every day, driving around. But I do this to lift them up, to encourage them to. I see the ones that are weak and broken, and that's the ones I need to encourage to hang on and keep fighting. Well, this one girl just, emailed me, that she had attempted to overdose. And I didn't realize that she was in a hospital at that time, but all of a sudden then I couldn't hear from her, and I didn't hear from her for like 3 days. Her battery died in her phone, and she didn't have her charger, but they wouldn't release her anyway. So in my own heart, I was petrified. I drove 200 miles to find her. When I got to the town, to where she was at, I ended up going through 3 tanks of gas, probably 800-900 miles. In the town. I drove to every park, every gutter, every gully, you name every skid row that I could possibly find. I went through every hospital hunt for her car. I went through every park looking for her. I went to every single Walmart. I hung out and went to every single gym membership that I could possibly find in the town. And I'm talking a town that's got 2 million people. So you can imagine how long it took me. And a lot of those places that I knew where she hung out at the Pacific area, I was at those places on the hour hanging out. So that shows you how much traveling I did. I went to 5 different police departments. I talked to 17 different police officers in that area. I did everything I could physically possibly do to find her. Well, luckily to say, I heard from her, and she's fine. And she's now morbid, and she hates me because I cared too much. She says, now it makes me feel guilty. They don't understand what I do for somebody. I do out of agape love. That's free love. That's just something that I would do because I cared for them and their soul. It's not about, hey, one day you'll pay me back. I don't care about being paid back. I never did. But yet you give someone or you help someone out. Well, you pay their rent or whatever. You give them a car or whatever. And instantly they said, oh, well, I'll pay you this. They'll find out how much I put into this stupid car. I do that to get the car running so I can give it as a gift. But then they'll come back and say, oh, I got to pay you at least that. And then all of a sudden they can't pay it or something happens in their life. And every single time it always does. And then they get mad or upset or they condemn me because now they feel guilty because they feel they've done me wrong. I reach out to them and call them and love them and text them and try to hold on to a friendship. And guess what? They hate me. I don't understand this. But see, people think, they don't realize I have feelings too. I never ask anything from any one of them. I never have and I never will. What I give to them, God gave to me to give to them. So how could I ever take any kind of, responsibility for it? So see, a lot of people don't understand me and the struggles that I have to deal with every day. And what I feel. They don't see my side of the story. And believe me, there's many, 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 many days that I literally just want to give up. And I said, Lord, I can't do this no more. But the very minute that I utter those words, I also remember and bring back my promise to Him that if He would give me healing and allow me to walk one more day, that I would spend that day working for Him. And I made that promise to God, and I always will uphold that, even to my dying breath. It's just the way it is. That's how much I treasure in the gift that I received. Because honestly, when I needed God back in those days, He didn't hear me. Well, He probably heard me, but I didn't think He heard me. And I really needed Him. But see, what He taught me, it was hard lessons. Hard lessons. But He taught me the truth. He taught me my purpose in this world. He taught me my mission and my value of why I have to be here, why I came here in the first place, was to help others and to help them walk. He gave me a little light. He said, this little light of mine, I got to let it shine. I can't hold it. I can't hide it. I can't hold on to that. I have to shine it because other people that's in the dark has to be able to see my little light so they can follow me to where I need to go. Anyway, it's going on almost an hour. I'm so sorry about how long it is, but I just figured this would be a good video for me to finally come right out and
be at peace with you and tell you exactly some of the inside of who I am and what I do. What I want you guys to do is to spend the next few days before the first of the year and do as I do. Reflect on your lives. Reflect on your Christian life. Reflect on your charity. Reflect on how you are as a person. Reflect on your love to others. Are you a giver or are you a taker? And if you take the very second, the moment to be able to really evaluate yourself and be honest and true with yourself, you'll see what I see, and you'll see a very pathetic person. But I want to stand here today in testimony with you that even though you see a pathetic person, God still loves you, and He wants to have a relationship with you. I know that for a fact because I have a relationship with Him every single day. I eat, breathe, and my testimony, every single word that comes out of my mouth for that day is with God's blessing. This is my life of what I do. This is my life. I have no other life because of that. Oh, praise the Lord. You don't know how full of joy I am because of that. I am one of the most happiest men you'll ever meet. I have got so much joy in my heart and my soul, but yet I've got a lot of tears as well, because you got to realize I have to deal with their pains of the people that I meet and speak of. I have to deal every single time I get in and out of my truck. I have to read these prayers, and these prayers will literally just, you don't have no clue the kind of weight that you hold of all the other people's burdens. But then God shows you miracles and joys, and people call you back and say, hey, guess what, my cancer was healed, yay. Or, you know, my daughter pulled through, you know, she's all right now, you know, or hey, I found my little dog, or whatever their prayer was. Hey, I went to church Sunday and got saved. Thank God.